Morning, you guys. My name is Sasha. I'm a web developer, and it took me to become a web developer 2 months. And that helped to give to our iOS delivery guys the new life with digital tips. Let me briefly remind you about myself, or maybe introduce myself to those of you who do not know me. My name is Aleksandr Bykov. I come from the city of Khabarovsk. I've been working for Dodo for a couple of years now, and many of you probably have not seen me, even because after 2 months working in an office, I've realized that it's just more comfortable for me to work remotely, and I have moved to St. Petersburg and have been working remotely ever since. I love coding. Coding is the major thing in my life, and I actually joined Dodo as the back-end developer. But nobody loves back-end because nobody praises you work for back-end because you cannot show the results of your work right away. Therefore, I've been doing the client side from the very first day. I'm deploying front-end in a number of projects. So mostly in Dodo, I have always been the web developer. But Sasha Andronov once approached me and told me that there's the epic business task. We have the app for delivery guys native for Android, written by Pasha Patan, our awesome Android developer, but there's no native iOS app for delivery guys. So the idea was to use Flutter to develop the iOS app. I got excited about the idea because I really didn't want to touch native development because this is a bitter experience. But I got interested with Flutter. Got interested in Flutter, and that was the strategically important mission overall because delivery guys with iOS devices didn't have an app, so we could not deploy our delivery app for any pizza place. Android delivery guys had the app, but not iOS delivery guys. So let me remind you what native development is and how it normally works, as opposed to cross-platform development. When you write the native app, there are two separate projects for every particular problem. One project for Android, another app for iOS. When you do cross-platform development, with Flutter, for example, there is one single project that can be later on deployed for two platforms, or even more. And in terms of business logic, mobile native development is, of course, the process when it is possible to write a number of apps. And there's a number of developers, one developer for Android and one developer for iOS. With Flutter, however, there's one single project and one single developer can do with this particular task and deploy the app for a number of platforms. You might believe, you might think that Flutter is hard to learn, it's inconvenient, it's clunky, but turns out that Flutter is super nice, easy, convenient, and fast. It turned out to be really cool in practice. And by the way, a short while ago, Flutter developers have announced the support of much more platforms. Now, one single Flutter developer can actually deliver to the front end of Windows, macOS, Linux, I mean, both desktop and mobile. So let's return to the experiment. The major objective was to find out how difficult it is to learn and use Flutter. Also, we need to find out whether geolocation solutions work good, because of course geolocation is a major thing in delivery. Also, we need to be sure that Flutter would conveniently integrate with Dodo IS and the authorization of delivery guys would actually work there. So I began the experiment with the Slack post on IT News. I just have announced that I'm moving from client side to the delivery side. And right after that, I began tinkering with Flutter, studying it, and actually checking what it can do. The first results arrived in 2 weeks. I have fully implemented the login, authorization, and Flutter app began working. So you can see in the video that Flutter has a very rich toolkit, and it is possible to analyze the app on the fly. It's pretty easy. Here's how login and authorization works. Next, I began to study geolocation, and I actually made a toy build for two platforms, both iOS and Android. You see it working flawlessly, even on my old maze with broken screen in the middle. When I was making the build, I moved to St. Petersburg to take some rest in the center of St. Pete and actually checked how geolocation works. I was glad with the results. So, here's what I have learned in 4 weeks of experiment. Flutter is easy to learn. It's very easy to code with Flutter. Geolocation services are okay. And Dodo IS is easily interoperable with the app. So I had a clear understanding of how to make the client's app and the delivery app. So after that, I jumped into the real development. But I hate sitting at home. I love writing code in the outside, in the fresh air. So that's, by the way, a convenient thing to do when you're writing the app with geolocation in the real life situation. But I have seen this web post on September 11th in our Drive channel, and has said that there are 15 pizza places that are ready to be on board. I've been slow with the app, no rush, and let me, by the way, here mention the publishing of iOS app, the enterprise certificate that we have been waiting, anticipating so strongly. Therefore, the enterprise certificate would have helped us to actually publish the app on iOS with significantly less checks of the app, so that we would have B2B app for internal use. But we have been waiting for the certificate, and that's why I thought that there's no rush with the app. I was chilling, no strain. Then I've seen this web post. 15 pizza places are ready to be on board. I thought, what? And I had to accelerate. And by the 5th of October, I had a clear intention to check my app in production. I actually made a build for iOS and Android. I took 2 devices, stole the device from my wife, and traveled to the nearest pizza place, 4 kilometers away from my home. St. Petersburg 5.1 pizza place. Thank you for your help, guys. So, the first build was not quite successful because you see the way it looked like. Here's my bicycle. And turned out I cannot make the order. I cannot assign the order, I cannot accept the order. And sitting on this wet grass, I realized that it's all on stop. I wrote to Yevgeny Bikinin, our guy from backend. He told me, well, you should have done it even later, yeah, the testing. So it took me all day to fix the thing, and it didn't work. So I had to return, but I tested everything at home first. So I arrived to the pizza place, I created the test order. I think I've been doing this operation a million times while writing the app. Every time I had to create the test order, deliver it, etc. So I created the order to my home place, and I started testing. What do I mean by testing? It's not that we do what the app expects, but something different. I try to check in the delivery 1.5 kilometers earlier than the delivery, and actually the app showed the warning that the order is not there. Then I checked in at the delivery place, and it was okay. After that, the delivery guy should return to the pizza place. And that was the part of the task. And I tried to check in that I'm there earlier, away, and I got the warning again. So that's how I tested the app and checked whether it works correctly. Here I am in the pizza place, and things work fine. I'm in the pizza place, and I'm in line. So here's my first particular test. It took me 20 kilometers actually to do this delivery. A clear-cut experience. I have been able to find a few flaws in the app. By the way, I strongly recommend to test the app in the most realistic situation possible. That's the way I have been developing the app. And by November 2020, we had, well, the pretty much ready iOS app ready for release, as far as I can see it. But as far as you remember, the story with Enterprise Certificate was not that easy. We had the app ready, but we didn't have the certificate by November. So Misha Rabanov actually told us that there is something called test flight. So it's possible to publish the app for internal testing in the test flight mode. That's what we did. Initially, we were testing with the pizza places that agreed to join the test flight. And after that, we've learned to make it in public access. Via test flight, of course, there was an instruction for that, but still, it was working. Since we decided that we have no time to wait for the enterprise certificate, and it took a long time to solve the disputes, so Mr. Sasha Stolarov actually offered us to make the button there become the delivery guy button. So that's how we could actually publish the app into the public app store for everybody, not only for B2B and enterprise. Of course, the first attempts to publish were not that successful. Actually, Apple rejected the app for 5 or 6 times for different reasons. And by the way, our testers helped us a lot with that. We have found a number of problems and fixed them. But in the end, by March 6th, I have received good news. I've seen that I can release the app in the App Store Connect, version 1.0. The app has been checked, moderated by Apple moderators, and it is all okay. I have written to Sasha Stolarov, whose idea it was in the first place, with the good news, and we were both super happy. On March 17th, we have actually published the news on IT News, telling that our delivery app is available in App Store, but we have not confined ourselves with that. We decided to improve the app. We actually have the Telegram app for 550 people, and the presence online is pretty high. And the real-life delivery guys and pizza places managers are writing in the Telegram channel describing the problems with the app. So we kept up the good work, fixing the problems and flaws. And mostly the complaint was that the iOS app displays a white screen. That was the irregular bug. But I did not know what to do with it, how to fix it. And while the experiment could be considered successful because there's the deployed app on the App Store, Sasha Stolarov suggested to hire an additional Flutter developer, but a senior developer who is more confident and knowledgeable with the platform to strengthen the team with strong Flutter expertise. So we got the new guy, Andrei, a very powerful guy, awesome guy, and we have actually renewed the team overall. We have the new product owner, Natasha, we have the back-end guy, Alexei, and we have Andrei, the Flutter development. So the idea of Natasha was to come together and travel to the office in Moscow and just talk to the people, get to know people, and figure out what to do with the app. And at the first day when I arrived into the office, I went to Andrei right away and took us an hour or two to talk. I was asking how to solve this problem, how to solve that problem, and he told me, the white screen is because of this and this. I even made the video, the making of. Please check it out. Next, the plan was to test the Gambi as the real delivery guy. I was running around with this orange bag. The weather was nice, as you may see, but that was particularly useful. We tested Android native app and Flutter, and we have been able to cover quite a few useful things, confirming our further plans for development. So, what's happening with delivery app these days? We have 401 pizza places using it. We have more than 5,500 delivery guys, and actually 39% of delivery guys are using iOS. That's almost 40% of all of the delivery guys. And iOS app is designed with Flutter, and we are going to actually deploy the Flutter app on Android. So there will be one product as it should be. If we see it live, in a given moment, we have about 2,000 delivery guys online, unique delivery guys, and our plan is to conquer all of the pizza places so that every pizzeria would run the Flutter app for delivery guys. So let's sum it up. The business value. Flutter is very easy to support and maintain because there is one particular project for all of the platforms, even Linux. There's one single developer who can do 2 mobile apps. Extremely fast to change, extremely fast and easy to change and fix code with Flutter. The functionality is very rich, and it's comfortable to write the app quickly and succinctly. And the major, most important thing is that the designer can draw any sort of model, any sort of design, and I can deploy it with the code. But to conclude, I'd like to thank our testers who are treating our app the way they should. Thank you, guys. You helped us to solve a lot of problems at the development stage. Thank you, guys. That was super quick. And I would like to thank our backend guys, because nobody ever praises the backend guys, but cherish your backenders. They're doing precious and essential work. Without their hard work, our apps are just animations on Flutter. And let me tell this, I was surprised when I actually wrapped up the presentation. I checked out how much work I have done. I always believed that I'm a slacker, chilling all the time, but turns out, not so. Thank you. Have a great day.